Hey guys, it's me, I'm Simpy. You may know me as the Simp that has been posting or has posted a lot of COD stuff in my TikTok, or you might know me as Simpy from a Discord server, or somebody, or you might be one of my friends who's trying to learn Blender in school. But I'm probably mainly known for the video that I've been posted not pretty long ago about the core assets. I'll put the video up right by now.
Simpy, he is amazing. He's a wizard when it comes to texturing and stuff. I'll put some of his work up on screen. Like, my stuff looks good. His stuff looks literally cinematic. I can't get my stuff to look as good as his does. I go for a more stylized look, and his is fantastic. He said that he was planning on making a tutorial on how he does his skin stuff at some point in the near future. So be on the lookout for that, I guess. Could be pretty cool.
As you can see, yes, he did say that. Unfortunately, the reason why there was a huge delay about it is because I had to deal with some stuff, some personal stuff, and it's pretty hard to make a guide because I know a lot of people is like, oh, it's gonna be a lot of information to process, and yes, it will be, but in here I'll try to make it as easy as I can. Don't be afraid to get a notepad out on your computer, a notebook. If you're trying to actually write things down, it's okay because it'll be great to kind of get this information going. And I know I have seen a lot of people come up to me and showing me like artworks and stuff, and I'm really surprised the whole thumbnail scene's trying to pop off and like now, because since when I first started in 2019, not a lot of people are doing it. A lot of people are just it was probably only like 8 people or less, or probably more. But now I'm starting to see like 30 to 100 people doing it now, and it's great. It's great to see people that are enjoying it, which is phenomenal. I like to see people's artworks and do enjoy them. Most of the time, I do get sent artwork pieces because they want help on it, or they need help like to okay, what they need to improve, what do they need to do, right? So in this video, I will be going to beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Now, fortunately, advanced, there's not really much I could say since I'm probably gonna give a few tips and tricks in here and there, or just some stuff that hey, there's not much you can improve on besides maybe lighting or something, right? And at the end of the video, I would do a Q&A because I do get questions a lot, so we'll put that in the end of the video. Um, so yeah, let's just get started with the beginner stuff. I know y'all want to just get straight to it, so I will put, like I said, I will put timestamps on the description, and I'll put in the video as well, so y'all can just skip through. If you're like, okay, I already know what I'm doing, you can go straight to intermediate, or you just want the tips, go advanced, or the Q&A. So let's go straight to the tutorial. Or we got a fresh project going here. So I'm not gonna use one that's been done already. So we just want to start from fresh. Now, if you need help with some plugins, I don't remember if Evan did the tutorial on it, but you're gonna need there's two of them. Now, if you're an advanced user or an intermediate user, or basically on my level, and you have SC model, you continue using it. But I'm starting to use something called CAS. It's another format. This one has a built-in merger, so you can merge the models together. It still has the same skeleton rig, same bone names. It's basically almost the same thing as SC model. It's just a different format. Um, I kind of prefer using it because I don't want to keep dragging, dropping the model merger, this and that. It's a lot better too. But if you're using SC model still, so it's all good. It doesn't really matter as long as you have the model. So yeah. If you are using SC model, I would say I could. There's a tool to merge models. If you're a newbie, you're using the SE model. I have a tool in the description. It's what everybody uses for SE models. Basically, you just merge models. I put it in the description. Yeah. I would just kind of prefer using CAS, but if you download CAS, I'll put the plug in the description. Now, say for okay. Alright, so you got the tool, the plugin, and everything. If you don't know how to install it, we go edit. We'll go to edit, preferences, install, and then you try to find it there. and then you press install add-on. It doesn't have to be unzipped. It doesn't have to be. Or if it's zipped, you can still put in. You don't have to extract it or anything. And if you found it, just type in cast, and it'll be there. All right. The first thing we're gonna start in the beginner is clearly delete the scene. You don't need none of that. Delete that. And you want to import your models. Once you import, so we're gonna find our models real quick. So we're gonna go find our models, and then there we go. All right. Once you found the models, all right. So what you're gonna do? So if we're doing operators, which we'll do that first, and then we'll do the weapons. First, we'll start with the body. Now you want to find your body, and then just import it. All right. Once you have the body imported, we're gonna do the head now. For the head, now this is pretty important. If you're using cast, we're gonna go to find the head, and then you see something called import merge. You wanna click that once, double click head, and it will merge it for you. So you don't have to merge anything. It will just merge it. It will just do it for you. Now we're gonna scale it down. The reason why I want to scale it down is light will not be captured pretty well with the bigger models since it's huge. The light will never, cast pretty well any shadows or anything. So that's why I prefer lowering it down. Somewhere between maybe 0.010 to 0.100. Somewhere there would be a good number. And if you're doing like other game models with the call assets, I would say somewhere between 0.010 or 0.100 because that's where it normally would be for other game models anyways. So, alright, once you import the model, okay, you want to start posing. Now, posing is pretty simple and pretty explanatory. Basically, you have these little tiny circles, like little balls. Normally, those are gonna be your bones. That's the only way you want to basically move. And in order to do that, is you want to go to something called object mode top here, object mode, top left of your screen. You want to switch over to pose mode. It's gonna allow you to pose. As you can see, now we can select these bones. Now, if you want to select multiple bones, you're gonna press and hold your left mouse button and just drag it over. As you see. To move a bone, there's two ways to do it. Say for example, I want to move this character's arms. You're gonna press and hold the left mouse button, and press R1 to move it up and down, and then press double click or double press R to move it around. Or here we go. So once to go up, and press it one more time. And now you can rotate around. To have the camera like at a certain angle like this, you wanna hold Alt and then your middle mouse button and move it left or right. So basically Alt, press your middle mouse button, left, right, left, or right, left, up, down. To move the camera like this, you can hold Shift and your middle mouse button. Hold both of them at the same time and then move your mouse. If not, you can just use these to get the chart, or yeah, the hand right hook right there. And then hold control and then you can zoom in and out the screen. So okay, so now we're gonna pose a character. We're gonna select the bone. I'll select multiple bones. Like I said, left mouse button, click it, hold it, yep, click and hold, or click and just drag. Sorry. And just move. We're gonna pose there. And once you have it posed up in a certain way, like you want it to just, alright, there we go. Just random pose. For the neck, you do the same thing. And as you can see, these lines right here, those are just reconnected bones. As you can see, it's just switch for the cheek. I know I've seen a lot of people confused about it, like, hey, why I see a lot of lines? These lines are just gonna be for bones. Normally, if you don't have a line connected to anything, basically it doesn't mean you don't really need it. Like for example, let's do. I know there's a bone here somewhere. Unless, yeah. As you can see, this bone doesn't do anything. You can just delete it, and or you can just delete there. But if there's like anything connected to it, you need to worry about it. So you're gonna move it, right? And that's how you pose. It's simple. It's just posing could be really time consuming as a beginner, since posing is mainly which do obviously to pose a character. I would recommend go online, search up pose references or anything to reference that pose, and then just try to imitate it to Blender with these bones. I know this is where everybody gets lost. Everybody wants to learn this part, and texturing is not too hard to the point where you're gonna get lost. So we're gonna go to shading tab, which is the top screen, and boom, we're under shading. Now, if you have downloaded my shader, which will be in the link in the description, I'll put it in there as well. We're gonna get the beginner one. I generally don't remember where I put it. I believe it's one of these. I'm not too sure. Let's search it again. I think it's the new one. I'm not too sure. Just to have a lot of shaders, it's kind of it's pretty hard, to have everything in order. Looks like not it. Let's try the one. Basically, to add shaders, you go a pen. So, add a file and a little, paperclip pen, and then try to find my shader. Alright, there we go. So this is my shader now. It's gonna look something like this. You just want to have these two. The camera shader just unfortunately doesn't work. I need to fix it. So we're gonna use this. We're gonna append both of these, and we're just typing simpy. To open that, you're gonna press Shift A, and then you just get your mouse and just type in simpy. Now, as you can see, this is gonna be my shader. This is the beginner one. I try to make it as simple as I can as beginner, so you don't have to be so stressful. Because normally my other one, which is my intermediate one, which is this one, this one's a lot, since you have a lot of things, as you can see. As a beginner, you don't have to worry about that for now, because in the intermediate, this is normally what you would use for texturing, and there's a lot of things I do normally for texturing. So now we're gonna put BSDF to surface, and boom, there we go. You officially added a shader. Now, to get a texturing going, this is what I normally do is I would try to find. Normally when you import a model, it comes with an image, the main texture, the color one. Normally I press this little icon right here, open image, copy the path, open the folder, type in the search bar or your file explorer, and boom, done. Normally as an intermediate you would start using this, but as a beginner you don't need to worry about it. What we're focusing on color, alpha, and normal map. Alpha is mainly used for hairs, anything that's fur in it, right? As an example, it's just hair, so we're gonna add this. We're gonna add my shader. We're gonna connect it to BSDF to surface. And then this is what we're gonna do. As we have color alpha. You wanna anything that's alpha related, like this one, you want to connect it to alpha. So color to alpha, or color to color alpha. And to fix this, this is what I see a lot of newbies or new people. Is that you go here something called material, and it's in the settings you're gonna switch this to alpha hash. This will allow you to get the full hair, and I've seen people make mistakes and they get lost. There you go, boom, easy fix. So you go to material, settings, scroll down to settings, and alpha hash. Now we're gonna go to get our normal map and color. Color, now since it's a PNG, it's gonna be a little bright on File Explorer, but when you import it, it's gonna be a little darker, so don't worry about that. Now we're gonna connect color. So let me turn off this node preview. So you're gonna get the color. You're gonna connect the color to color, and then your normal map, NOG alpha. Once you do that, we're gonna switch this to non-color. Always make sure your normal map is set to non-color. If not, it's just gonna look complete dog shit, as you can see. So we're gonna put this to non-color, and boom, there we go. You just set up your first mesh to be textured. Bravo, right? Congratulations. But don't celebrate too early because we're doing the skin. Skin is something I have seen a lot of people. I actually get asked for is simply how do you make your skin look so realistic? And Thankfully, with the technology we have with Blender, I use something called SSS, which is self-surface scattering, I believe it's what's called. That basically gives it. So normally when you put a flashlight on your hand, turns like a peachy red. That's what self-surface scattering is. We have it in our skins. It's basically just see-through-ish like thing. I don't know how to explain it. You can probably search it up in Google. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try. So if you're trying to find materials, for example, okay, since these are not named, you see these right here, this little search bar. Copy that, but make sure you select the mesh. So I want to do the head. Copy this. Go File Explorer. Go back to your image, and just type it in or paste it right there. Boom. Now, this is no, yeah, that happens because since the hair is connected to the body, not the head. We're gonna go to back to our models. We're gonna go find our head model image and just paste it there. Boom. There you go. It's right there. Now this is gonna look complex. Don't worry, we're gonna guide you through. Okay, so if the head looks just like this, don't use that. That's just for, I believe that's SSS, which is what I just explained. Don't worry about that. We're gonna worry about this. This is what you're gonna worry about. And as you see, there's 3 normal maps. This never use this. I don't know what this is used for. This is what your main thing is. This is more for intermediate purposes. Basically, this is a detail normal map, just to get the skin more detailed. As a beginner, you don't need to focus on it because mainly y'all just do thumbnails. I'm pretty sure it's everybody here. Thumbnails or artworks. And for some reason I can't. There we go. You want to import these to your color and alpha or NOG, which is normal map. Do the same. You just connect color to NOG, alpha to NOG alpha for your normal map, and always set it to none color. Once you do that, we're gonna do our color, and same with the color. Color to color, color to color alpha, and it should always be set to channel. So if this is check your alpha right here. Make sure it's channel packed. So the transparent, because if you have it to like just set to straight, it's just gonna look weird. So always set it to channel pack because you see it's transparent. And it's mainly the alpha doing that. And as you can see, it doesn't look right. You can see it doesn't look correct, right? It doesn't look like what I normally work with. And it's fine because we're gonna fix that. That's the reason why I made the skin shader in the first place. So the skin shader is basically a skin shader I made just for skin purposes only. This is only used for hands, feet, like just skin part basically, you know. Just fucking skin basically, yeah. So this will be the same, but this time, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use SS. Normally you just want to max this out, and somewhere between 0.01 through 0.04 be like a perfect part. And as you see, boom, there we go, skin, right? And to render, normally for cycles, which I always render cycles EV. If you render with EV, just not. I mean, obviously, if you're doing EV, just enable bloom. I mean, occlusion, self-space reflections, and reflect them on. Just for if you're doing EV for cycles, we're gonna lower it down to. Obviously, you want it for the viewport. Basically, this is what you're seeing right now. This is your viewport, not the render. You want to put somewhere between 124 to 256 will be a perfect. I normally do 1000 for render and denoise. There you go, boom. This is normally my render. This is my render settings. Like what I do, right? We're gonna render this, and then we're gonna switch our line. So if you want to just pre-line in Blender, you could just do this, and boom. This is a good line, right? Now, I don't know why it's doing that. Probably just the normal map doing that, but we're gonna switch this over to this one. This is what everybody uses nowadays. This is what everybody uses. And as you can see, the hair is complete messed up. Like this to fix this hair part, you're gonna go to your render settings, which is right here. You're gonna scroll down to see where she's life path, and when you see transparent, you're gonna turn this. Normally I turn it to the max, but somewhere between like 512 to higher, which would be fine. But I just turn it to the max. Boom, there we go. That's how you fix it. Cause I know I've seen people have that issue as well, and they ask me how to fix it. Boom, there we go. There we go. So that's the skin part, right? For the glasses, we're gonna do. It's just the same for the hair as we did last time. for the glasses, it's gonna be a little difficult to explain. Normally, as a beginner, just add a glass BSDF, and then just turn down, or since she has her eyes, like you can't really see eyes, just turn this to like 0.0250, and then black. There we go. Don't give it too much black because it won't really look good. Somewhere between 0.01. There we go. So that's how you do the glasses. Normally, I would use the alpha, but this looks a lot better than what, you know. As you can see, so you can put this at 1. There we go. That's how you make actual glasses. But if you want that reflection look in the glasses, just turn this down to like 0. There you go. That's how you get the reflection look. But I like to just leave that realistic look to it. And then anything that's metal, shiny, which is normally where weapons are at, we're gonna do that is we're gonna get that. So we're gonna try to get our after this, go to our file explorer, type that in here, and boom. All right, so this is what you're gonna see, right? You're gonna drag these two in here, and this is where the metallic thing comes to play. So, right, we're gonna connect this to BSDF, right? And then we're gonna connect color to here, color to alpha, and then you could do alpha to metallic, and then boom. There you go. And set this non-color. If not, you could just disable this and just turn it to the max, and boom. Right? But normally alpha contains the metallic. There we go. And then eyes is something I get questioned a lot. So for eyes, so what we do for eyes? Wait, no, go back here. So for eyes, I use a plugin for Blender, but it's not really beginner friendly because I know there's a lot of things in there. It's just gonna be like, okay, I'm done. I can't do Blender anymore. And I mean, the color eyes are not bad, to be honest. It's just I don't really like them, but some people like them, some people don't. So preference, you know, it's just preference. Now, what you're gonna do is there's a little 1x1 texture. And yeah, it's the 1x1 Lego piece from okay, so I know, yeah. It's a 1x1 texture right here. See, 1x1. This is your normal map. You can just preview them, right? Normally in Windows, you can just press detail and you can view them. This is your normal map, and this is gonna be the eye, right? When I do that, now always channel pack it because this, you know how you can see it's transparent. If you don't channel pack it, it's just gonna look weird. So channel pack it. Get the cost shader out. There you go. Once you do that, color to alpha, NOG, or color to NOG, alpha to NOG alpha. Now, you can do this, right? Boom, done, right? But no, we're gonna get the default Blender shader. This is what I do. I do color, alpha set to 0.0110, or you could just turn down to 0. Spectre or spec, I would just turn down the tint to 0.5. So basically, just kind of gray out a bit, so it would be perfect. And then I'll go to something called coat. You want to put this to max. Roughness, I'll just put it to 0.1. There we go. See? Boom. That's how you get the realistic eye look. And then to add a normal map, which you don't have to, but if you want, search up NOG because this is what it's in the shader. You want to connect the color to NOG, I believe, and then alpha to alpha, roughness, and then normal. I believe it's just normal. I'm not sure, something like that. Yeah, and boom, that's how you get realistic eyes. And I know I get questioned a lot too. Is this is like a little thing right here? This is basically just how you give your eyes like a little watery look to it. To do that, this is what I do. I will go in here. You don't have to use a normal map, to be honest. You don't have to, as a beginner, just do this. Roughness, set this to 0.010 as roughness. Go down to your transmission, turn it to the max. And alpha, turn this to like 0.0250. And then go to your materials, set this to alpha hash, and boom, you just made watery eyes. So if you render this, boom, as you can see, just turn it down. If you want, you can turn it down. You can increase the little, increase the thing, your alpha to 360, and just see as you see, it's kind of watery-ish. But I would just leave it to 0.1. This is what you don't want to show it too much. Show it a little bit, and there we go. Unless with the eyes, I'm just gonna get rid of the NLG. You can, like I said, play around with whatever feels makes you comfortable. Eyes, I'll just put 0.10. This is what for eyes. This is what I recommend if you want to take a screenshot. This is the eye settings right here. For the little eye thing right there, little thing right here. It's the settings you want to use. Yeah, that's shading for you. Honestly, it's not really much to it. Now if you're doing camos, it's really complex because I wouldn't recommend it as a beginner. You can use something called Blender Kit. You can go on YouTube and find anything, but you could just type in like dark matter. Sometimes it's free, sometimes it's not. There's like basically materials. You can go materials, search up dark matter. And sometimes it can be here, sometimes not. Or if you're doing diamond, or just do gold. And you can just basically with these, you can just drag and drop here. And then this is only for weapons, and there we go, see? I would only do this for weapons. I obviously don't do characters, but there we go. This is basically for operators. Operators, there we go. Alright. We're gonna switch over to weapons. Now you hear the weapons. Yay, weapons, right? For weapons, we're gonna go back to our layout, top left right here. And then we're gonna hide scene. You can just type it. If you want to hide scene, top right, you can just press the icon. The camera is basically when you add a camera to the scene, and when you press it, you can basically hide the model when you're rendering through the camera. So yeah, for now we're just gonna hide it. We're gonna add a new collection. Right click, add new collection. We're gonna name this XM4 since we're gonna use the XM4. Now, okay, you want to import a weapon, right? We're gonna go import, cast, find a weapon. So we're gonna start with the receiver, as you see, called REC. This goes for mod for 2, mod for 3, newer mod for 3, obviously mod for 2. We're gonna uncheck merge for now, and we're just gonna import to cast. There we go, right? Boom. Now we're gonna select the skeleton. We'll import, cast, go back, and we're gonna check import merge. We're gonna find the mag. So we're gonna import the mag, and boom, merged already. Now we're gonna do the grip, which would be called pistol grip. Double click that, boom. Same with the stock. Double click that, boom. Import, cast, and then barrel. Boom. As you see these, so this is only for the lasers, so you can just delete that if you're not adding a laser. This is for the flashlight on top. Same with this is for the red dot, and normally you can see how like it's kind of statically. It's because there's two meshes. Delete it. Boom. Same with here. Delete that. Delete that. There we go. There we go. And you just added the XM4. That's how you merge it. This is the reason why I like cache, because with SC model you have to use model merger, and I don't like it. It's better to switch over to cache. And we're gonna scale this down. Obviously, we're gonna scale it down to 0.0110. Now, if you're doing this goes for like basically normal. If you're doing blueprints as well. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete this, import this. So we're gonna copy that. I need to open that. We're gonna close that. Now, Weapons, alright. Don't if you see something like this, don't worry about it. It's because we're gonna delete it since I don't want you to have to worry about it. So I won't. So it's just gonna look something like this. I'll delete that too. So basically, you want to add this. This is gonna be your main color. These are for camo purposes. These are like detail mask. So normally this is what was used to kind of like. It's okay. I want to get the mag to have a second, because normally how dark matter has black and then dark matter. This is what this uses. Basically just a mask overlay. Think of it as an overlay. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna add a shader, CoD shader, BS to DF to surface, and then color alpha, and then alpha to metallic. Same with the normal map, NOG, or alpha to NOG, alpha, and then non-color. And boom. As you can see, beautiful, right? As you can see, if you look at these parts right here, these internals, they are shiny. How they're supposed to be. Because if we look at this texture, right, we're gonna look at the alpha. Right, so this is the color, that's the alpha. Normally, this is what's gonna give it the metallic look. Anything that's white, so if it's black like this and it's white, basically the white part's gonna be shiny and the black part would not be. Boom. Same with the mag, same with the grip, same with the stock, etc. This is it will be the same setup. Now if you're doing camos, like I said, use a blanket, grab a gold, put in here, boom. Same with the top. There you go, see? Gold. You do custom camos, basically. This is what I like. But there we go, that's weapons right there. Done. Takes only 5 minutes to do. Or less than that, but the texture of the whole gun. Yeah. Now I'm gonna explain animations. Now. Okay, now you wanna do animations now. Animations, unfortunately I don't know a bunch about them because I never really done them, and when I did my TikTok, those are just so. Before you say, "Oh, Simpy, you have done animations," you're lying. Yes, I have, but the problem with those is those are in-game animations I use from actual Call of Duty, like in-game stuff, like in-game animations, like lobby-wise. Now, to import animation, normally you would go in your grand search, switch your settings to X add-on, load the game again, and then search up an animation like sprint, super sprint, walk, lobby. You export those into Atom. I don't know if CAS does support animations. I'm pretty sure it does. You basically just just go back to your layout, hide a weapon. So for animations, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna go in our animation layout. There we go. All right. To do animations, it's straightforward. It's just I don't like doing them because they're time consuming. When you get a bone, and we're gonna go make sure this is set to 0 frames. Always go and start bomb. Make sure to start 0, and then at the end, how long the video's gonna be. So we're gonna move the arm up. We're gonna press I on the keyboard. Keyframe it, location, rotation, scale. Move a few frames. So just do 10 frames. And we're gonna move it down. And do the same. Location, rotation, scale. And I on your keyboard. And as you can see, play animation, boom. I'm pretty sure if you stretch it more, I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure it'd be like slow, it'd be like a lot smoother frame. I see, there we go, boom. With animations, it's not too hard. It's just I mean, it's really time consuming because you have to keep posing it in each frame. So as you can see. So as you can see, basically you want to add more frames to it in the middle. So basically, as you can see, we're gonna set this back to 10 frames, and then at 30, when I move the arm even more down, we're gonna press the iron keyboard location rotation, and if we play it, see, the shorter the frame, the shorter the frame is, the faster it's gonna play. The longer it is, the smoother it's gonna play. So you just put this like really close, as you can see, it just plays quick and then slow. So that's what animations. Like I said, I don't know much about animations, so yeah. Okay, now lighting. Lighting is something I do get asked a lot, and I do have an answer for that. Unfortunately, I'm a noob at it. Um, I will recommend going on YouTube because there's a lot of videos on YouTube about it. Lighting is not fun to work with because to get a good line setup, you have to take your time with it. Don't rush yourself over with lighting. The longer you work on it, the perfect it's gonna be. You want to study light, and the way I do it is I add an extra eye. So to add an extra eye, go your shading. You see where it says object. You can switch this to world. Shift A. We're gonna add a image. I'm gonna add something else, but just type in image. And once you do type in image, it'll be like image texture. So it'll be this one. But I'm just gonna use this because I have a different format of HDRIs. So, but it still goes the same. So image texture, open, go to HDRI folders. Excuse me. To find HDRIs, I use Polyhaven. There's a lot of good ones in there, but what you're gonna do is you're gonna find one. Import it. Oh, make sure, see like little check, this little arrow down here. Make sure this is set to, just press these two so they actually does work. And what you can do is we're gonna add a mapping, and then a texture quantization, vector to vector, and then you guarantee not UAV or UV, guaranteed to vector. There we go. And then you could use the rotation on Z to rotate it around. As you can see, boom. And we're gonna fix this. As you can see, that's something I do with line. Let me fix this real quick because the skin's a little too dark. Alright. So where's I'm trying so alright. Weird, I don't know why the skin's too dark, I guess that's how it's supposed to look in game. But alright, there we go, okay. We're gonna put her glasses back on because she looks kinda weird. But yeah. So lighting, and then if you want to use actual lights, this is what I would do, is I would lower down the HDRI scene, lower it down to maybe 0.25, and add a couple of lights. Basically, you're gonna go on the scene right here, Shift A, light, area, and then I'm gonna add some lights to the scene. It'll be a lot of perfect on layouts. So you want to press S to scale it down, and then just play with, just mess around. Have fun with it, Don't stress yourself over if it doesn't have to be perfect. I would recommend always have a backlight because you want to show the skin. So we're gonna add backlight. And if you want to make it brighter or less, this is what I would do. Go on your, press the light, go on the settings right here, the little data icon, and then just play with it. 35, just render it, and boom. Well, let's just lower it down because it's too high. If you want, I would say shrink it a little bit. Don't make it too big, because you want the shadows to be lost off. And boom. This is how you would do it. In the backlight, I would just shrink down the backlight a bit since it's too much. And it's always good to have backlight because of the outlines. You want to capture the outlines. and that's how I do. That's what I do with my lighting. And then yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for beginnering. I mean, and if you want to render, oops, before I switch over to intermediate, to render is you're gonna add light, Shift A in the scene, camera, view, camera to view, which would be right there. So view, camera to view. Press the little camera icon, zoom out. So basically your middle mouse button, and then you want to hold Shift, middle mouse button, move your mouse around. So yeah, Shift, Control, or no, just zoom out. Here we go. I would zoom out a bit, go to your camera settings, and play with the focus length. And then mouse, or move your camera. To get a transparent look, go to Film, Transparent. And that will be your render settings. Render settings, scroll down, Film, Transparent. And then when you render it, in the viewport, boom, it's transparent. And if you want to render something, it's obviously going to be top left and render image, and boom. There you go. And there we go. That's Call of Duty Blender 101. Yes, I'm not gonna texture everything because it's just too much work, and either way, I gotta switch over to intermediate. So, yeah, and that's how we do Call of Duty Asset Blender or Call of Duty stuff. If I did miss something for beginners, you could just let me know. I'll put my Discord down. But yeah, if I missed something, like I said, go to my Discord. I'll put my Discord in the description. I'm gonna make a server because I have to. So maybe once I'm done with the server, I'll put it in the YouTube description, and I'll be here and there to help people out. But yeah, all right. I just want you to do it to media. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay, so you have reached intermedia. Intermedia. We're gonna go over texturing, and we're gonna go over basically just maybe it's gonna be texturing because I do get that a lot, but texturing. So in intermediate, we're just gonna focus more on texturing than lighting and all that, and then for weapons as well. So I'm gonna use this project from the beginner. All we're gonna do is we're gonna start from fresh. So we're gonna go shading, and then I'm gonna hide the lights real quick. So this is what we're gonna do. So for intermediate, this is what I do. So we're gonna delete this. I have a shader, which I'll put in the description. This one will be for intermediate purposes only and not for beginners because I know people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's just too hard" because you're using the wrong shader. So, all right. In my shader, since if people are wondering, I do have these. But if you want to do the manual way, which I don't surprisingly I don't use my shader. I do it the manual way. We're gonna add a. So this is what we do. We're gonna add the invert color to roughness. Trust me, yeah, you can take a screenshot, but I'll do this real quick. We're gonna add the invert color, normal map, an RGB curve, and basically what this is what the setup that everybody uses. And then spec, I like to kind of lower down the value of this to 0.5 to kind of darken up a bit the scene or the texture. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna search up the path of this now. We're gonna use something called a game image. We're gonna split textures. The reason why we're doing this is because I don't really like the NOG converter. I kind of just prefer to separate everything and do it myself, since I can pretty much play with the textures a bit, like invert color, you kind of lower it down, or invert it to put the normal map. So we're gonna do. And here we're gonna use. I'm gonna explain this as well. This is a detail normal map. We're gonna use it as well. So we're gonna drag and drop the normal. So make sure for the normal map, make sure you set this to normal, gloss, and occlusion. Now, there's a thing going around with occlusion. Now, I don't use occlusion because Blender has it built in. Because with cycles, it's ray tracing and it does it for you. And either way, in EV, you can just force it in EV. So if we go in EV, there we go. And occlusion, you can just force it, and it looks nice. Save yourself time. I don't use it, but you can use it if you want. Up to you. Once you converted the normal map, we're gonna switch this to color and alpha. Drag the color and alpha. Now, if it looks like this, don't use that one. I use like these. This is the main one. and we're gonna do spec as well. So spec and albedo, drag and drop the color, drag and drop the spec, alpha, RGB. I'm gonna switch to RGB. Oh shit, hold up. Here we go. So we're gonna connect the RGB to base color, the roughness to invert color, and then non-colorless. And then the alpha, which I said, this is not an actual alpha, so you're not connected here. We're gonna connect it to the IOR level. Spec, we're gonna connect spec to tint, obviously. So with the RGB, we're gonna, so on G, we're gonna invert this. So instead of being this way, we're gonna invert it this way. There you go, 0, 0. Or, no, I already did it, so that'll be, never mind, it'll be this way, sorry. So if you go red, there we go, see? Boom. Now for non-color, drag drop here. When you use the other one, not this one. There we go. To add a detail normal map, we're gonna add a mix color. Switches to overlay. Factor. So this is what something I see a lot of people. You can increase it obviously and just boom. But here's the thing though, I don't do that. There's a texture in here that basically it's like a little like an overlay. I'll show you in a bit. Make sure you do convert this one right here. Convert this to your normal. So convert it with normal. Drag and drop here. So just the non-color. And so this is what I mean. So this is going to be a detail mask. What we're going to do is we're going to connect the color to factor. And boom. So this mainly goes for the hands. Where instead of it being on the fingernails, it's not going to be on the fingernails. Just think of it like an overlay. There we go. Now to scale it down, we're going to add a mapping. And texture quantization. Vector to vector, UV to vector. I like to have it somewhere between 14 to 18,000 or 18. So yeah. As you can see, we zoom it in and out. Boom. Now for it to really pop out, well, subsurface, random block, increase that weight to 1. And then we're gonna put this to 0.02. And boom. And once we render this, this is gonna look 10 times better than what we have for beginners. I like to have on the alpha of this, I like to kind of have it in non-color. And boom. And as you can see right here between the just color with this, it just looks phenomenal. Here we go. And then same for the hair. It'll be the same for the hair. Just we're not gonna use subsurface for the hair. So for the hair, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna copy these. So if you'd like to take a screenshot for the skin, this is you want to take a screenshot for the skin part, go for it right there. So yeah. For hair, we're gonna delete the shader whatever we're using for beginners. Paste this. Like that. So now we're gonna get the main color. Mainly we're just getting off the normal map. This basically is pretty much it. To get the hair, like I said, it's gonna go to material. Make sure this is set to alpha hash because if we put this one, it's just gonna fuck up the hair. So alpha hash. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here. Oh shit. It froze on me again. Copy this. Go in here. Paste there. Boom. Alright. We're gonna split the non-color. Or the normal map. Oh, sorry. Now if it's taking a while, it's because it's a 4K texture, and with 4Ks when you split textures it takes a while. says basically set this to non-color. Number maps and roughness should be set to always set to non-color. That's the way I do it. And boom. That's the hair. You can add a little metallic to it, kind of give oil up oil up the hair a bit. So yeah. Keep trying to save. Oops. And boom. That's how you do the hair. For the glasses, just add a glass BSDF. You know, save yourself some time. Just don't add our alphas and all that. It looks a lot better when you add the glass BSDF anyways. Now for the weapons, they're gonna be a little pretty simple. So we're gonna get the weapon out. So for weapons, it'll be the same. So make sure this is off. So now what we're gonna do, okay. Make sure self-surface is off. You don't need it for weapons, obviously. This is what we do. We're gonna get the path of the weapon. Go in here. And like I said, it's mainly just gonna be texturing part for intermediate since that's what everybody really wants. Okay, we're gonna separate the non-color. Color to alpha. Get your color out. Spec to albedo. Alright, this is what we need. We're gonna need our normal map, RGB, alpha, spec, and then your roughness. We're gonna connect our color to base color. Oh yeah, hold up. I thought I did add it, it's weird. There we go. So RGB to color. Roughness. Make sure that's non-color. We don't need that. Spec, tint. Alpha. No, it's not gonna be here. We're gonna add color to metallic. And then alpha to, there we go. Actually no, it's my fault. Color to IO level. So color IO level and then color to metallic. Sorry, unfortunately it's pretty late, so I'm pretty tired, so that's why I'm pretty like slow right now. Normal map to obviously RGB curves, set this to non-color, and boom. That's the stock, folks. This basically is literally the setup for the weapon. There's nothing much to it. As you can see, it just looks really detailed. If we do the receiver. So we're gonna go over this one more time. So somebody, if you get lost, we're gonna go our path of this. Now, if you're having trouble looking for textures, see this little thing right here? I'm gonna copy that, and then once we do that, we're gonna go to X models, find the receiver images, just paste it in here, search bar, boom, found it. We're gonna get our color, put this back in albedo, color alpha, so and then same with the color. Normal map, get the normal map. Let me delete these because we don't need them. Normal map, alpha, roughness, RGB, spec. Alpha, remember put color to IO color and then color to metallic for the alpha and not actual alpha because it's just gonna disappear the gun, I'm pretty sure. Spec to tint, so color to tint, color to invert color for your roughness, normal, map to RGB curves, set this to non-color, and boom. So that's basically, that doesn't go there, but here it is. What the? Oh, hold up. That's the barrel one. Hold up. So, yeah, hold up, let me fix this because I added the camo, so. Let me fix this real quick, folks, because why is this skill down? What? Well, I guess I fucked up because the way it's set up. So, but like I said, this is just gonna be for the stock. So this is just basically the same setup for receiver and everything you think of. So yeah, that's basically for intermediate. There's not much I can explain because I know that's what everybody wants for intermediate is just texturing. Lighting, I would just say go on YouTube because like I said, there's not much I could explain since I'm a noob at it. So yeah, we're gonna go over advanced. Yeah, you finally reached to advanced. Now advanced users, there's not much I could explain. If you're trying to get the texture set up, go to intermedia. That's mainly just what the whole video is. That's like that whole timestamp is just texturing because there's not much I could teach since I don't really work on Blender anymore. I'm moving on to the Bond scene. Um, so if you're an advanced user, just focus on lighting. Lighting is your main priority since that's what whenever you see those realistic artwork pieces, lighting. Um, Posing, always use references, and then I would say focus on what else? Focus on if you're doing animations, make sure those keyframes are perfect. Kind of set them apart so the animation doesn't be the animation's not too quick. Make sure the animation is set to 60 FPS to be smooth. If not, you can do 30 FPS. That's normally what most of these game animations are. Is 30 FPS. And yeah, there's not much for advanced because advanced there's not much I can save since I'm not really fully. Because even though I get called a professional, I'm not really a professional. I just do this for fun. So yeah. There's not really much I can say for advance. We're gonna switch over to the Q&A. Q&A, yay. Alright, the Q&A, questions and answers, because I do get questions a lot. Now, question. Simply. Is texturing hard? No. Texturing, when I worked in so many games, like when I got the Unreal Engine games, like the TFD and all that, Fortnite, texturing can sometimes be difficult, and I can see why. But normally with some of the games, texturing in normal map is going to be probably merged with. So this is what I would say: when you're ripping some games, always make sure see what you have. You have color, spec, roughness, occlusion, and normal map. If you're missing like roughness and stuff like that, always double check textures because sometimes the textures can be merged. That's why with the Call of Duty assets, textures are always merged. Blender has like an RGB preview, so when you go to shading, and the bottom right, the bottom left, no, the bottom left of the screen, just like a little picture. You can always go on there, switch color, check our red channel, or you can go Photoshop, split them to RGB. There's YouTube videos how to split red, green, and blue channels. Split them and see, okay, that looks like a roughness, that looks like a spec. That's normally how I just eyeball it. If you once you master texturing, you can just eyeball things. And normally to separate textures, it involves with some math or separate some colors, invert the colors, combine the color, and then just connect it to. Or you can connect it. You can connect the roughness, or you can connect it to normal map. Next questions. Simpy. Now I guess we can do some core stuff. Hey Simpy, how do you find some of the operators for BO6 / Model for 3 / Model for 2 core? They go by code names, and code names are basically how, because sometimes Call of Duty likes to name their stuff weird. I have said GitHub for BO6 stuff, so if you have a BO6, if you have the supported version of it, I'll put that in the description, like I said in the beginning of the video. Yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, you just put them in the comments. I'll try to respond to them as best as I can. Yeah, I was trying to make this as short as possible. It might be really long, once I edit it, but I try to just, there's not really much I can say because I'm a pretty bad teacher. So yeah, I mean, if you have any questions or anything, I'll try to set up a server and then we could, I'll probably, or you can join every server, but I'm already active in it. Yeah, I mean, you could just make a server and then try to answer some questions as I can, or you can just put them in the comments. And I'll put everything I use will be in the link in the description, like I said. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy this guide. Like I said, I'm not really good at teaching stuff, so don't expect me to fully cover everything. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoy the guide, and yeah, hope I get to see some fire artwork from y'all. Take care.